I think so, right?
Yeah.
What do you think of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? So, like last season, we had a season, it ended, the cast should be announced soon. Garcelle Bouvet left the show. She, quit at the reunion. I really think, look, these women have ins and outs, right? They all make up and break up. But really, I think Garcelle thought the only person on the cast truly like look, these people, a lot of them are friends for the show. They don't speak in
Sure.
between
Yeah.
filming. Like, would you really want to speak to some of your colleagues when you weren't working if you were to take 9 months off work? You're not friends. Like, it makes sense you wouldn't speak, right?
Well, yeah, especially if your lives were revolved around having to create drama between each other. It sounds a little exhausting, quite frankly.
Totally exhausting.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't speak to anyone when we weren't filming either. I'd be like, I want my paycheck, and when we film, we could. But so Garcelle and her, I mean, Sutton and her were really friends. So there
Hmm.
was the reunion, and I think a couple of things caused Garcelle to leave, but like they were going around and they were supposed to say the highlight of their season. And Garcelle said something about Sutton, and Sutton's thing was about this woman named Erica, who is kind of not friends with Garcelle like that. She's so thrilled that she got closer to Erica. It was kind of a slap. So I think Garcelle was sitting up there and she's like, the one person I thought was my friend
Hmm.
actually isn't my friend. I'm out of here. So she quit. Now, Sutton, Garcelle blocked everyone. She has not spoken about this. She wants nothing to do with it. As again, I wouldn't want anything to do with my old job once I left.
Right. Right.
So Sutton recently did an interview on Jeff Lewis, and she said on this interview, I am sorry, because Jeff's like, I think you hurt Garcelle. She
Yeah. I
said,
love Jeff.
right? Jeff is funny. Did you listen
I
to
love
Jeff's
Jeff.
show? He's funny.
Yes. All the things.
And Jeff gets things out of people. So Sutton said,
And he's honest.
right, like he tells it like it is, right?
Totally.
So like Jeff doesn't kiss ass just for the sake of kissing ass. So Sutton said during this interview, I'm sorry for that. I would never want to hurt Garcelle intentionally. I'm sorry that she feels that way. And I'm sorry it went down like that. I hope I can rectify things later. Sometimes I think when you're really close to someone, you get hurt in the relationship. Sometimes you need some time to heal. And I'm hoping we can rectify and fix everything. And she did add, I think down the road, we need to have a long, thoughtful conversation that's private, away from cameras. I hate this happened. She was a really good friend and I love her dearly. Now, I have my own thoughts about this statement. Like, I mean, does this make it better? Was this a great apology? Is Sutton hurting, just in your opinion? Or did this make matters worse, or neither?
I don't know. It sounds to me like I think it's kind of hard to believe any of this because so much of it is also like to garner audience attention and for us to stay tuned. But I never like it when somebody says, I'm sorry she felt that way. And I think that's a hot button for a lot of people because, that's not the issue isn't really how I was feeling, it's how I was being treated, right? So that's how I kind of feel about that.
I agree. That stuck out with me too. Look, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, can anything be true? Like you're saying it on Jeff Lewis in front of a microphone. So
Right.
everybody wants the audience sympathy. Everybody wants the audience to like them. I think at some point in the Housewives journey, if you're there for a long time, you just don't care anymore. But I think Sutton really cares. I agree. I mean, the end of this apology was nice. Like, listen, I learned from Housewives, and I do use this in my real life when I don't really want to apologize to someone and I just want it gone. I usually say, I'm really sorry you feel that way, and hope that the person isn't as savvy as you and me. It does work. It does work sometimes, and they just listen, and then it's all okay. And I'm like, well, I purposely said it that way because I really don't think
Yeah.
I did
Well,
anything
and
wrong.
sometimes it actually is true because it's like I didn't intend it that way and I'm sorry you took it that way. So, I think sometimes it actually does work, but I think it's also can be kind of an easy out.
I have a problem with it. I think that sentence, like Garcelle hasn't responded to this, like to say like I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, I think is
Yeah.
just I
Yeah.
think it makes matters
I
worse.
think it with close friends it does because close friends would know the intention behind whatever's being said or done, right? Like if I didn't know you that well and I said I'm sorry that you feel that way, it's because maybe we just don't connect in that way or whatever. But if you're really close friends, you kind of, you know how your friends dig and how, they don't. So
Are you
it's
good at
different.
apologizing? I'm not so great at apologizing.
It depends. I'm a type of person where if there's any like stink in the air, I have to like clear it. And no matter how uncomfortable it is, I'm definitely like can confront issues and I just want to squash it and move on because everybody has bad days. You know what I mean? Everybody misunderstands people's intentions. So, I like to address things head on and I try my best to take the feedback.
That's really good. I think it's one of the things I need to work on. The
Yeah.
thing is, if I did something and I don't know, like here I am, like if I did something and I
You're
just,
defending yourself and you
well,
haven't even done anything wrong.
yeah, like if I really think I'm like in business, I guess I will apologize if I realize like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose business over this. Like it's not worth it. Like just put your tail between your legs and like you be subservient.
Right.
But like in the real world, I'm like, but I don't think I did anything wrong. So now, see, I'm really honest, really, because I'm like,
I
this
think that's
is
okay too. I mean, there are times when you didn't do anything wrong. I've had that recently. I had a falling out with a friendship, and I'm very, very certain that I did not do anything wrong. And you just got to say, fuck it.
fuck it. And you know what it is? It's more like I will apologize if I think I did wrong, but I'm very like, what's the word? Not even sensitive. I'm very like astute and aware of like gaslighting. We learned this new word a
Oh,
few
yeah.
years ago. It's kind of like you did this to me and now I'm supposed to apologize, but this is like you're the one wrong. So like now you're putting me on the defensive and now you're making me feel a certain way that I shouldn't feel because I wasn't wrong. So now
Yeah,
I'm really
totally.
not apologizing and angry. And like not even angry, like I'm over it, but I'm not apologizing because like you're making me feel a certain way when you did this. Like that's not really fair now. That's how I am.
Well, that's like kind of this happens with my husband and I sometimes where we'll get in a little spat and then I'll be like, you said this. And he'll say, no, you said this. And then I said this. And this is why I said this. And I will be like, I am not fighting about how we got into a fight. Okay.
Right.
We need to
Right.
just move on.
This is why I'm single, probably.
Yeah.
I'm just like, if someone's, I would just be
You
like,
have to be right.
see, this is what I like. I like just pretending like it never happened. It's really healthy, right? Just not to deal with your feelings. I
Yeah.
like just pretending like it never happened and just being like, hi, how are you today? What a great day. And just hoping,
But are you
unlike
still mad inside?
I don't get, here's the thing. I really don't get mad at people. Like truly, I only
Okay. Well,
get
that's good.
truly, I swear to you, I am not just saying it. I never, ever, ever get mad at. Like, there's nothing you can do to me that I can think of that would make me mad.
Hmm.
Other people get mad at me, and then I'm like, but uh, now you're putting me like on the defensive when I shouldn't be.
Okay. Well,
Let's
that's a
just,
different type of
yeah,
personality, though, David. Like, if you never get mad, then you can't really empathize with why people are mad. So you're just like, let's just move on. That's fine.
let's just move on and like we're healthy. Like, come on, let's not
Right.
make a big
The
deal
sun
out of
is
this.
shining. We're here for another day.
But maybe I could work on my feelings a little more. Not today. Well, I agree with you. I personally think like Sutton is, listen, all of these women do well for themselves, but Sutton is like really, this is Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Her alimony, I don't know if I told you this before, her alimony is $300,000 a month,
Jeez.
not a year.
I
Um,
cannot. I can't.
can you
I can't even
imagine?
imagine. No, I can't.